Good evening, good morning, world. How are you today? Jumping on live with a fresh burst of encouragement for you out of the book of He-brews for today. I really believe pertinent in this now season, moving into the latter part of 2025, the Spirit of God is encouraging and strengthening the bride. Where there's been exhaustion, where there's been fatigue, where there's been a sense of unbelief and doubt, you're going to see heaven breathe. I really declare and decree, my heart's cry and prayer for you today is that you would receive this word, that you'd catch the thermals of the Spirit, and that you'd rise above absurd. You would rise above and have the capacity in God to receive what generous hearts, the heartbeat of heaven has for you indeed. It is the generosity of God that sees. He is generous and He's true and He's plugged in with you. Amid your circumstances, amid the folly, amid the doubt, amid the unbelief, it's the capacity in God to receive. He-brews. It is time to come up higher and see as the eagle sees and come into alignment and trust as He sees. There's a trust and there's a trustworthy upon you as heaven has burst through for you. Good evening, good morning, world. How are you today? Just jumping on live about 15 minutes today with a burst of encouragement for you. You are so loved and so seen. You are dearly, dearly loved. And your worth is in me, says the King of Glory. There's been an exchange of persons for you. And it's this exchange of persons which gives you the capacity to believe, to receive, and to move into all things new indeed. Good evening, good morning, dear Stephen. God bless you, brother. So good to see you here tonight. Just reading out of the book of He-brews for us tonight, just really trusting that the King of Glory is going to meet you in insight, that there is deliverance knocking on your door, the door of your heart to receive. We rested in a rested covenant. It is the faith rest. It's coming into alignment in our thinking and breathe. It's the breath of God coming on the word indeed. It is the seed of God coming through your humanity, through your failings, through your weaknesses, through all the situations and circumstances that you're walking through. It is the power and presence of love indeed. Good evening. How are you, dear Stephen? Sexual brokenness and healing in your lungs indeed. God bless you, sir. A lot of that comes back to alignment in our thinking, and really it's about desire and fresh fire through that exchange of persons. And many of us have been delivered from sexual perversion and from sexual just absolutely craziness. God delivered me many years from a sexual addiction. In my late 20s, obviously I got married 23, etc. But it was many years later that I was actually set free from a lot of those strongholds in my thinking. Part of that was culture, tradition, my family line, etc. There was a lot of perversion in my family line, a lot of licentiousness and fornication and sexual adultery and all of this kind of behavior, etc. And I've just denounced that beast to the cross, and it's been very freeing and very liberating. And not, looking at porn, not thinking about all this kind of behavior. It was very interesting actually, just cross-referencing this with my message on Sunday that came through my local pastor. Just doing a teaching out of Corinthians. He was talking about sex and how we've gone from A to Z now in the context of the modern era today since the pill was brought in, and how it's AI dolls and you get married to a doll and however you feel, and whether you're horny you just go for it, etc. But God has created us in His image and He's given us the sense of centeredness. He's given us a sense of sexual purity, which comes back to our position in Him, and it's a sense of centeredness in that oneness with Him. And so all our desires become His desires as we come back to that oneness. And it comes back to your heart and your desire, etc. And coming back to a sense of centeredness in the line. What does that look like? That our holiness is your position in me, says the King of Glory. And so when the more that we desire His fire, His truth, and desire to lay down my will and I and the flesh, etc., we're coming up higher in our thinking, eating out of the tree of life. And there's a sense of centeredness, and there's a sense of stillness, and there's a sense of purity coming through as we can hear His voice. And as we hear His voice, there's this texture of stability, there's this texture of centeredness, etc. And we're able to catch the revelation knowledge as it's taught, our new nature identity, and move through and deal with the flesh as we see a truce over those things which have a hold on us. For others of us who've been delivered from addiction, whether that's AOD in the context of drug and alcohol, whatever the context is, etc. A lot of that's physiological, it's biological, etc. But it all comes back to a centeredness of the word as we're coming back to what God has created us for, which is not absurd. It is to walk in the cool of the day and the cool of the morning in His presence. We're designed to carry the glory. That is how we look like nothing of our story. We look like nothing what we've walked through, what we've endured, what the heaviness and the burdens and the shame shackles and what sins and consequences have done to us and through us. But God has delivered you, Stephen. God has delivered you, Sonny. God is with you, Adriana. There is a sense of provision. And I understand celibacy. Paul talked thoroughly about this. I believe Paul was married in the days. And people that were in that sect, etc., in that context of that Jewish elders, etc., they had to be married culturally. I do believe that in the context of his situation, he talked about celibacy in the context of purpose and the sense of calling, etc. And obviously, if you're burning with lust and you're desiring to get married, then that's important. But marriage is not going to save you from lust. Wouldn't matter if you're having sex day and night. It's a never-ending pit if it's a sense of a desire, which is based on a perversion of soul, which you're looking for an identity or trying to fill a God-shaped hole, etc. It's the same with shopping. It's the same with gossiping. It's whatever the flesh there gives for you. Or maybe you've got multiple things that are going on, etc. As you come back to that one fresh desire, my desire is you, Lord, to see your eyes, his dove eyes upon you. One kiss from the King, which gives you that centeredness in this thing, and it gives you the stillness and the peace which comes through as the Prince of Peace is leading you. It is assignment for alignment as He-brews. It is a faith rest. It's a resting covenant. We are no longer under Mosaic law. We're not under the covenant of Moses. We're under last Adam. We're in the Son, an exchange of persons. Can you come? Can you see? It is time to come up higher amid the dung. And many of you are going to be delivered from those things which had a hold on you as you see fresh fire as he becomes your desire. And so it's a sense of, 6 weeks to form a new pattern in your life, etc. As you continue to meditate on the word, as you continue to say no, there's so many practical things of how you can walk through a true deliverance. It really comes back to transparency, coming back to the prayer lines, etc. If you need that, whether it's a mentor, mentee, the local church, etc., whatever the context is, coming back to the word, getting real, getting up when you have those unholy desires, going for a walk, etc., putting the bottle down, being accountable to 2 or 3 people, getting real. The fire of God will come through in your town. You will see deliverance. I was delivered from cigarette smoking. I remember for years I tried to give it up. I grew up in a dope home. I grew up in a smoking home, etc. A lot of AOD, etc. And I was delivered literally one night, just out on the town, etc. I've been crying out to God to be deliver me from cigarette smoking. And I literally lit a cigarette smoke up for a friend, and I vomited on the ground. And God had literally delivered it out of me. It was delivered after on patches. And it literally comes back to that fire, that fresh fire. So I really believe deliverance can be, and miracles are very instantaneous, and healings are progressive. And I've walked through this in 30 plus years of a practical Christ-centered life, as I've walked in the Spirit, as I've come back to that centeredness in the eye. And so it gives you a sense of stability, clean hands and a pure heart, that you can come up daily in your daily walk with God and whose you are through the truth, because Holy Spirit is not speaking to the old you. Holy Spirit is not reminding you of all the things that you have and haven't done and dusted. It's done and dusted. We're in a resting covenant. He brews. He has brewed for you. And so it's coming up higher in our thinking, making a demand and becoming generous receivers indeed. That is how you're going to walk in the Spirit, see deliverance and delivery and break through and break free. And it's the same with AOD. I had, through that cigarettes and the dope home, etc., I had very bad asthma. I've suffered from asthma for many years, etc. God has delivered me from asthma and from puffer and inhalers, etc. I come from a backline of COPD, etc. And so there's just been this centeredness. There's been healing in my capillaries, healing in my lungs, the capacity to breathe and not be wheezing, etc. Miracles on high. Be encouraged. Rest in my love. Dove eyes is upon you. The love and the laser focus of heaven is here, reading off my notes for you today. Rest in my love, says Daddy. I've centered you. I've equipped you. I've strengthened you. I see you. Holding on to dreams placed inside of you. I am the dream keeper. I really believe today the Holy Spirit is speaking to many hearts to become generous receivers, that there's a reinvention of you where you've let go of dreams. His presence and his power is still in you this day, where you're going to see alignment for assignment as you rest in his love for you today. There is fresh encounters speaking into your situations of delay, where it feels like you haven't got the capacity to move on. We're in the natural. It seems so ludicrous that God could give you a second and third chance, that there would be divine alignments for the assignment, that there would be a man that would come alongside of you, that there'd be the right woman that would come alongside of you and cut covenant, that there'd be alignment for relationships. Many of you are desiring for relationships. You've given up in the line because of grief that's gone on and on and on. You're going through the motions, etc. I understand all of this. I understand heartbreak. I understand the devastation of divorce. I understand the devastation of widow. I understand the devastation of DV. I understand, and I see you. You are seen, and God is with you, Queen. And many of you have been raised up in this now season to shake off the shackles of guilt, Shake off the shackles of condemnation. You've been an abuser. Maybe you've been abused. It does not matter in the context of the bigger scheme of things. It is a new day, sir. There's a resting covenant upon you. Let us labor, it says in the book of He-brews, therefore to enter into that rest, that finished faith test. You are forgiven and made perfect before him. He's covered you amid that AOD, amid that sexual addiction, amid that grief, where it seems like it's over and out this week and you're just going through the motions. God says there is more. There is more in store. It is time to become a generous receiver. As you are forgiven, you're made perfect before me. I am the door. It's my wisdom, it's my strength, it's my provision, and it's my courage which is leading you through the door. Good things are lined up for you. Those of you who have suffered through financial hardship, those of you who have had the capacity to scale wealth, but you haven't had the capacity to hold on to wealth and steward wealth, and there's been a lot of condemnation and sorrow. And